It's time now for an in-depth look at the global markets this afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Dr. Jun-sok, professor of economics at the Catholic University of Korea. Dr. Yang, thank you for coming on today.
Happy to be here.
Well, let's start in the U.S., where the Democrats think they might have an edge now on the idea of impeaching President Trump. Wall Street was down Tuesday. Is that why?
Well, it was part of the reason, but very few people expect the impeachment proceedings to have a longer effect on the stock market, and that's because, well, I think we could have four reasons. First is that the Trump administration has always been somewhat unstable, so there has been always at least some serious controversies in the administration, and this may be just one of those many. And then second reason is that President Trump had a serious problem with Russia before, and there was the big concern about how the Mueller report may start the impeachment proceedings. That didn't happen. And then if we look at U.S. president impeachments in the 20th century, there's only two examples, President Nixon and President Clinton. Now, President Nixon, there was some serious economic effects during the time of the impeachment proceedings, but this was also the time when U.S. went off the Bretton Woods standard and there was the second oil shock. So the adverse effect on the economy can be explained with that. With impeachment of President Clinton, nothing really much happened in the stock market. And even if the case is brought by the House of Representatives, the fourth reason is that the impeachment will be decided by the Senate, which is held mostly by President Trump's allies in the Republican Party. So in the end, it's probably not going to do anything really significant. It might have a lot of symbolic meanings, but it probably won't have anything concrete to do with the economy or the stock market. So I think that's why, while we'll see some negative effects and we'll see some roller coaster rides from here on, it probably won't have any serious permanent repercussions.
Got it. Well, another story, we've got cryptocurrencies. They've seen a huge recovery since around the middle of this year, but overnight there was a sharp drop in the price of Bitcoin. It's a really volatile area, but where do you see crypto going?
Okay, well, this is what happens when you don't have a central bank to try to maintain a value of a currency. If there's some problems that may come up and there's some changes in value, there's nothing really restraining it from going too high or going too low. So cryptocurrencies are always going to be volatile unless they have something equivalent to a central bank. Now, what particular event set this off? No one really knows, but one possibility is that on the 24th of September U.S. time, the future market for Bitcoin was supposed to have started, and the market did start, but the effect of the future market was not as great as what a lot of people hoped it would be. So the Bitcoin did not gain as much as those investors hoped, and I think that caused some decrease in the Bitcoin prices overnight, and that was aggravated by, as I said, having no central bank.
Yeah, it's a unique situation for sure, and the future is so uncertain. But looking at Korea, the economy here, we've had very low consumer inflation for a while. It seems like that might continue now that we see producer prices were down again in August compared to a year ago. Why are producer prices falling, and what's your outlook?
Okay, well, the core inflation, the core consumer price index inflation and core producer price price index had been very weak for a long time. If you look at month-to-month changes, about 4 to 5 months of that negative change and 5 or 6 months of that positive change. So it was weak all along. But last year, what happened in August was that the price of agricultural goods, especially fresh food, went up very high because the very hot summer that we had last year. This year, the agricultural prices did not go up as much, so it could not counteract against a lot of the negative effects that we had throughout the year. So basically, the food prices in August agricultural prices in August made a difference between having a positive 12-month price change and negative 12-month price change. So should we be worried about deflation? Not yet. If you look at month-to-month changes, even in the producer's price index, it actually went up by 0.02%. But should we be worried about long-term weak demand and weak inflation? Yes, I think that we should be concerned about that, and we should be using expansionary fiscal and monetary policies to try to get us out of it.
Got it, Dr. Young. All right. Thanks so much for coming on today and sharing your insights. Appreciate it.
Thank you.